What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another pregame live stream. I'm sorry, post-game live stream. Just a crazy whooping we just took by the Jets. Well, not that crazy, but the crazy thing is that first half we fought tooth and nail. Second half, we just didn't have enough. Not enough firepower. They're a Western Conference playoff team, and they're at full strength. We're missing basically our whole young core except for Josh Hart. And, it's just one of those games that's tough to watch. However, there were some entertaining things to watch this game. For example, Josh Hart, man, he's really good. He has an even better scoring ability than I thought he did. This was a good test for him since him and Julius were the only players from our young core that were there. He dropped 25 points on a very efficient shooting night. So I'm very happy to see that Josh Hart continue to shine and just, he's a very interesting player. We don't know what the ceiling on him is right now. Sky's the limit still, but he is 22. He played all 4 years in college, and he's a very, very good two-way player. So it'll be interesting to see throughout his career how good he continues to get. And I was pleased to see him get 25. Almost got a new career high there, but very happy for Josh Hart. Julius had a pretty decent game compared to the last couple of ones, so I'm happy for that. Tyler Ennis actually stepped it up, surprisingly. So Tyler Ennis, man, he's something else. He just shows up when it's time to try to collect a new paycheck, So, this guy probably wants an extension, but I wouldn't give it to him. It's just a fluke that he's playing good, in my opinion. All season long, he's stunk it up. So, but still, nonetheless, give him credit for his good game. And, yeah, Brook Lopez threw up a bagel, man. Very disappointing, but that's how he has been. He's been very inconsistent all season long, so most likely he's not coming back unless, of course, like I said, we get the two max free agents and we're looking for cheap contracts to re-sign. So I don't know. But, I did like the energy Thomas Bryant came out with. He's still very young and raw, but I do see a lot of heart, effort, and hustle in him. And I will hope that next season he gets a lot more minutes because this season, he was basically in the development league for the most part this year and garbage minutes here and there, but nothing crucial. Again, we didn't play him much other than the fourth quarter when the game was out of hand. So, but I did like his energy and effort, man, and he battles. So that's all you want from a young player like that. So very happy with him as well. Other than that, man, like I said, Donovan Mitchell's special. You guys already knew that. He exposed us today because we were very thin in the backcourt. And, he was the best player on the court today. However, Josh Hart wasn't far behind, man. Like I said, very efficient night for him. Very good defender. The way he goes up and crashes the glass and just grabs some rebounds is very impressive to me. So I can't wait to see who we pick in this draft, right? Like I said, videos coming up for that. I'll take any questions, man. I haven't really head to the comment section yet. Let's see. Dan, I hope we don't bring back Lopez. I feel you, bro. I don't even blame you. He does play zero defense. Sometimes it looks like he even opens up the gates for everybody to flood in. So, I understand and especially when he's not even effective offensively, he basically brings you nothing to the team. No rebounding either. So it's unfortunate, but he is who he is. At this stage, he just turned 30. That's who Brook Lopez is. So Josh Hart blocked Devin Mitchell twice. That was a nasty block on Donovan Mitchell, man. He met him up top, man, and he basically saved the poster. So that was fun. That was fun to watch, that little part. I did that block Josh Hart did on Mitchell. What's the chances that we bring three big names to the team? I don't know. Depends on how free agency starts shaping up. Again, if we do bring three names, then it has to be something that was already in the works since, like the trade deadline probably. So, players talk and sometimes they want to go team up somewhere. It has to be something that we already did on the table. Here's an interesting little fact. The Lakers have prevented all their color commentators from actually talking about trades, which means that they're afraid to get hit with some sort of fine or something, which might also signify that the Lakers already probably have something under the table. So just an interesting little fact. I mean, they could, throughout the history of the NBA, deals always get made under the table, and behind the scenes, and we don't find out till years later down the stretch. So that's just something interesting I wanted to share with you guys. I was listening to AM 710 on the radio when I was working the other day, and I heard that Michael Thompson and John Ireland, or was it John Ireland and I don't remember who, but basically they were saying they couldn't really comment on. They've been basically forbidden to talk about free agencies. So something interesting is going to happen. We'll see. LA Forever says, how do you think Mitch Kupchak is going to do with the Hornets? Hopefully horrible. I mean, I'd be upset if he does good over there, and over here he left us with these bad contracts. So, I hope he continues being, the bad GM that he became in the end of his career. So we'll see. But I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't really care what he does over there. Bro, what will they do with Dame's contract? That is the question of the summer. If we get rid of that contract, what are we going to have to give up? And if we keep it and stretch it, then what's the purpose of it? Like, who are we signing? So I think, again, come July, it's going to be very telling in what direction we're moving with this franchise. So we're either in it for the mid to long haul, or we're going to just do what the Rams did and just go for it over the course of one summer. I don't know. I'm not sure. If it was up to me, I'd just add to the young core and continue to build on that. Keep adding to the young core. That's just me, though. But we'll see what Magic and Rob have in mind. They might have a trade up their sleeves. They've said it numerous times before. If they need to make a trade to land a star, they will. They're not going to hesitate. So it's going to be interesting, man. Let's see what happens this summer. Keep your minds open, guys, and don't discount anything. Is Kawhi as good as Laker this offseason with a sign and trade? As good as a Laker? I mean, he could be, but again, don't believe half of the rumors you hear, man. There's rumors going out there that we're going to trade like a good 1/3 of our young core for Kawhi. That's probably not going to happen. So we'll see. We just got to sit tight and just wait. Let it play out. I think we should re-sign Ennis. I'm not sure about that. These are fluke games he's having, and all of a sudden he wants to play good just because his contract's about to be up. So I'm not. This guy has no passion. Look, he shoots too much. Sometimes guys are wide open. Like Josh Hart was open on a couple of those, and he didn't. He just looked away and tried to finish. Like, he's not a point guard. He tries to be a scoring guard, but he's not even an efficient scoring guard. So even though he had a good game and I give him props for today, he's not somebody I would ever like to see in purple and gold again. I don't think we should rush the process. I agree. You should never rush the process. Like I said, and in my opinion, the best option is to keep the young core intact and continue to build upon it. Add Paul George, bring back Julius. If LeBron wants to come, that's fine, because LeBron's going to retire in 2 to 3 years anyway. So he's a short-term solution anyways. Don't go trading the farm just to appease LeBron, though, just to bring him over. That's just me. Dan, you think Zoe and Kuz are going to play in the Summer League? And if they do, it's a wrap? Probably. I wouldn't be shocked. They're competitors, so they're probably going to want to fine-tune their game before the regular season starts, or before they head into the summer. So I would. If I'm them, I would play and continue to try to, build that chemistry together. Zoe and Kuz shouldn't play Summer League. I think they should. I don't see why not. Of course, they should play limited minutes, and they shouldn't play too hard, but they should still play and feel out the game a little bit and try to build that chemistry with their future teammates. Did Luke play Thomas Bryant? Yeah, he played him, but for the last 8.5 minutes or something like that. So he got some run in, and he looked pretty decent. He's still very raw, though, so he needs a lot more. He needs a lot more run. Showtime says, in my opinion, Kawhi isn't coming here. LeBron isn't coming here. Paul George might. Remember, Laker fans, every year there are rumors of players that are coming here, and no one does. Right. I agree with Showtime. You got to take every rumor with a grain of salt. I don't buy anything till I see it. But still, this year is different than most. Those rumored players that were coming here, in the past, we had Mitch and Jim, and they were very incompetent, as they proved with the whole LaMarcus Aldridge meeting and all that. So the point is, yes, take all the rumors with a grain of salt, but still have hope, because I do have a feeling we're going to get 1 to 2 max this summer. So I just, the signs are pointing this way. I mean, look what the Rams did over the summer, with a big market and a lot of cap space. They were able to trade and sign the players they wanted. I think the Lakers are up for the same. I think the Lakers are going to be able to sign and potentially even make a trade with players that they have, because we have a lot of young talent and we have a lot of good contracts that are tradable. So hopefully we don't do nothing crazy like the whole Kawhi Leonard rumors. But if we do make a move, hopefully it's beneficial to us for now and for the future, not just for now. We don't need any quick fixes. We need to be a dominant franchise like the Warriors did. They built within the draft and then they added to that. So that's what we need. The Lakers play their cards right. They can get Kawhi, LeBron, and PG. Yeah, potentially, yes. But I wouldn't hold my breath for that. The Spurs aren't going to turn around and just trade Kawhi to the Lakers knowing that LeBron and PG might follow. They're not trying to they're not going to try to trade Kawhi within the same conference for nothing. They're going to want to ask for everything. And that would be like a rebuild type move. And the Spurs just aren't known for rebuild. So I'm kind of skeptical about the whole Kawhi Leonard rumors still. Till I see something happen, I won't believe it. So, yeah, I'm skeptical because the Spurs aren't a rebuilding type team. And they dang sure aren't going to trade him to the West to build a powerhouse team like the Lakers, That's just my opinion. I just don't see Pop and the Spurs doing that at all. Mitch and Jim couldn't get DeRozan and Aldridge to come. They couldn't even get a meeting with KD and LeBron. Exactly. So this is a different era. And Magic Johnson has so many connections. Same thing with Rob. They've already proven last summer, even with limited cap space, that they can get free agents that are at least B tier. Guys like KCP, they're at least B tier free agents. They're not A tier, but they're at least B or C tier. So the A-listers are coming up, and we're going to try to hit a home run. Dan, do you think if we don't get any superstars this offseason or next season, Magic needs to go, considering that Kuzma was a fluke? Kuzma was not fluke. There's no such thing as a fluke, man. These guys are highly scouted for probably their whole careers, and there's no way Kuzma was a fluke. You think Donovan Mitchell was a fluke? No way. Some teams just passed him up because he didn't have as lucrative of a college career as he's having in the NBA. But the point in case is that some players are just better built for the NBA, and the Lakers actually struck gold with this kid. But that doesn't mean he's a fluke. He's definitely not a fluke. Fluke means it was an accident. There's no accidents in the draft. You draft who you want to draft. Considering that Kuzma was a fluke, Kuzma's game is not a fluke, but Magic drafting him was a steal. Yeah, again, the draft is not a fluke. Everybody that drafts young players have plans for them, and they see them as a part of their future or maybe even as trading chips. Bottom line is we got some really good value because they did their research and we basically outsmarted everyone. Now, remember, the Lakers took Kuzma with our second pick after Lonzo, which means that he was high on their list. They even mentioned this. They mentioned that they saw a fire in Kuzma throughout college and throughout the, what do they call that? The draft combine that just made them fall in love with Kuzma, and they thought he was going to have a bright future. Go back and watch the interviews. No way it was not a fluke. I like Thomas Bryant. He was +6, highest on the team. Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing, Mortal? Again, I never look at the plus minuses, but I did like what I saw from Thomas. He has a lot of passion. He plays with a lot of heart. And if we didn't really feed him the bar or nothing, so we're yet to see what he could do offensively on a consistent basis. To me, in my opinion, he still looks raw, but he has a motor. He's athletic. He plays hard. What's not to like? Let's give him a shot. How do you feel about Luke, Dan, and his future with the Lakers? Coming up in a video next week that I'm dropping as soon as the season ends. So I got you, bro. How do I feel about him? I'm 50-50 on Luke. I'll just leave you at that, man. Just a little taste. The Spurs were going to pick Kuzma if the Lakers didn't pick him. Exactly, man. That's what I'm telling. That's what I keep telling people, man. There's no accidents. We lucked out because we have great GMs. We have a great GM and a great basketball operations manager in Magic. So they did their research, and it's like basically, it's almost like when people say, oh, if you study for a test and you ace it, it's a fluke. It's not a fluke if you studied for it. You understand? So at the end of the day, man, we won the draft this year. We really did. We really, really did. I mean, we got 3 starter-type material players at the very least. At the very best, we got 2 stars and 2 role players. So Uh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what they pan out to become. But I really like these players. There's no such thing as a fluke. They scout these guys heavily. The Spurs were real high on Kuz. They were trying to trade up to get him. Shake my head. Thank God he didn't go to San Antonio, man, because that would have been they would have built another dynasty around Kuz. Seriously, man. They'd probably be like a fifth. Where are they in the standings right now? They'd probably be a bit higher than that if they had Kuz. What do you make of Lonzo's rookie year? Again, I'm saving all these answers, man, for the end of the season. I think so far he's had a very solid rookie year. He's impressive, very impressive in the rebounding, passing, and defensive areas where he needs to work on his scoring. So there's a lot of room for improvement, but I'm very happy with what he's displayed when healthy. However, my grades and all that is coming up, man. I'm telling you guys, it's coming up. Probably going to drop that video on Thursday because Wednesday night is the last Laker game of the season. So I'll probably be dropping the grades for the season for the Lakers video on Thursday, very next day. And then I got a bunch of content lined up for you guys. So leave a comment, guys, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe because I got you. It's a fluke because Magic didn't trade D'Lo for the 27th pick. He traded D'Lo for space in order to sign a star. And if we didn't sign the star, then Kuzma saved Magic's butt. No, not really. That is not a fluke. They traded D'Lo. Okay, they traded D'Lo and they included the pick. However, they already had in mind a bunch of players they wanted with that pick, and Kuzma was heavily touted amongst them. Again, watch the interviews, bro. I'll tell you, it's not a fluke. They've been scouting Kuzma for the longest. So, but you know what? D'Lo has. It's not like he was a for sure thing. D'Lo's still a gamble, and even till today, he still hasn't panned out. Matter of fact, some might argue that Spencer Dinwiddie had a better season than D'Lo in Brooklyn. So first of all, we traded, yes, to get the cap space. However, we got that pick and we turned that pick into something good. Again, not a fluke. But I kind of see where you're coming from, but it's definitely not a fluke at all. He's done all right, seeing as half of the team is hurt. Yeah, I would agree with that. He's done all right, but all right isn't good enough to be a Lakers head coach, man. You got to do good with the Lakers, from good to great. You know, and so far the first two seasons, like you said, they've been all right, but very fluky and very, just very weird, man. I don't know. He's an inconsistent coach in my book. They traded D'Lo, Lance, and Clarkson because they didn't think they fit with the team of the future, and also to clear cap space because of Mitch Kupchak and Jim Buss. So that's also what. Magic said it himself. He didn't expect Kuzma to be this good. Nobody in the NBA expected Kuzma to be this good. If they would have expected Kuzma to be this good, they probably would have took him with the second overall pick. Just saying. However, that doesn't mean that they weren't, high on him and they didn't think he had the potential. But for a rookie to come in and do what Kuzma has done, just shows you how special he's going to be, and he has exceeded the whole NBA's expectations. Still not a fluke, bro. Still not a fluke. A fluke, you know what a fluke is? A fluke would have been if they would have blindfolded themselves and just randomly pointed at a draft pick, and that would have been their draft pick, and it ends up being Kuzma. That's a fluke. They did their research. Again, it's like studying for a test. If you ace the test because you studied for it, it's not a fluke. A fluke would be randomly selecting without seeing. That's a fluke, I'm telling you. Kuzma expected to be this good. Exactly. Kuzma always had the confidence. You guys got to give Magic props, man. Kuzma's not the only good draft pick he had in his draft. Lonzo's a very good draft pick as well. I understand that for some people, offensively, the expectations weren't there. They didn't meet the expectations or whatever. But overall, he has basically averaged what we thought he would be out of college, maybe a couple of points short. But he's done better in rebounding than we thought, and he's done just as good in assists. So he's living up to the hype. Josh Hart is a two-way defensive beast. You gonna tell me that was a fluke too? I doubt it. So we have aced this draft, and there's no fluke, buddy. No fluke here. Far too many three-point misses. I agree, Alan. We keep shooting threes, but again, that is three-point shots are basically what the offense is built around. Like basically, Luke Walton wants them running and gunning, shooting threes. Very similar to Mike D'Antoni, except I think Mike D'Antoni's half-court offense might be a little bit better, believe it or not. So I don't know, but the only thing that's good about Luke is that he does preach defense, and That's it. But sometimes he still goes small. So again, very inconsistent coaching. Dan, you glad the Dodgers won? Well, after such a slow start to the season, I mean, we take anything we can get right now. D'Lo gets hot for 2 quarters and then goes cold for the next 20. He's a high volume scorer, meaning he needs a lot of shots to put up the points. He needs like 20 shots to get 20 points type scorer. For his career, he's going to be that. You know who else was that? Jamal Crawford. You know who else? J.R. Smith. So that's along probably the lines where I put D'Lo right now. Now, he could prove me wrong and pan out in the future. But right now, I put him as a spark plug off the bench type player. You know, maybe a decent starter, but still, he's a streaky shooter. You can never count on streaky shooters. I mean, ask Nick Young. You know, Nick Young was another streaky shooter. So these aren't players like Donovan Mitchell is something different. He's just a killer, man. You know, Ben Simmons is a killer. Kyle Kuzma, they're killers. But unfortunately, thus far, D'Angelo Russell has only proven to be getting hot once in a while. So that's tough. A fluke is like me shooting from the half court backwards and making it. Exactly. That's another good analogy. There you go. How do you feel about the LA Angels? I dislike them. They're not from LA. They're the Anaheim Angels, and they're basically like the Clippers of baseball to me. And I know they got that, Asian guy who's pretty good or whatever that only wants to pitch once a week, but I'm not interested. I'm not, I'm the type of dude. I like the original LA teams. I like the Lakers, the Dodgers, the Galaxy, the Rams. I don't like the Chargers. I don't like the Clippers. I don't like, the LAFC new expansion team. Those are shadow teams. We don't see them. We see the first. As LA fans, we should always cheer for the first teams that are here and don't let these other gimmicky teams come and take over. That's why it baffles me to see so many Clipper fans back in the day. Now they've all gone and become Warrior fans after the Blake Griffin trade. However, before that, they were really annoying with their selfie posting butts. So basically, I'm telling you, I like original LA teams. That's just me. I mean, you're entitled to your own opinion, but at the end of the day, Lakers, Galaxy, Rams, Dodgers. That's my 4 favorite LA teams, and the LA Kings as well. But I don't really watch hockey like that. So, Dan, you saw the Zlatan goal? Yes, and I can't wait to see the game at 6 that's going to come up right in a little bit for the LA Galaxy. Man, tune in if you guys haven't seen Ibrahimovic. He's been a beast overseas for years. And even though he's 36, he can still he's head and shoulders above the competition. So if you want to see some good soccer, I'd tune into that. Magic invested and is a part owner of LAFC. That's cool and all, but I'm still not rooting for them, man. I'm telling you, I'm a fan of original teams. I just don't like other copycats. I don't like it. Dan, who is in your NBA Finals teams? It's hard to tell, man. What I'm hoping for is anything other than Cleveland Golden State. Anything. Those 2 teams don't make it, I'll be the happiest fan out there, Dan is an original. Oh, Kevin. Thank you, bro. You're too kind, man. Nah, I'm not even trying to say that I'm above anything like that. The only thing I'm telling you guys is I just like originality. I don't like, I don't like shadow teams like the Clippers. Ultimate shadow team was the Clippers. They came over from San Diego, and nobody called them over here. So they should have just stayed over there. Go to Seattle where you want it. Go somewhere else. If you're the owner, you're never going to surpass the market that is the Lakers. So why not get out of here and go to a market that wants you to play for them? Go to Las Vegas. Las Vegas doesn't have a basketball team. Go to Seattle. That's all I'm saying. No need to disrespect our franchise and put selfies over our banners. None of that. CP3 does need a ring. That would be great to see. I'm really rooting for Chris Paul to go far because he always plays hard, man. And I just imagine how good the Lakers would have been if we would have had Chris Paul. It hurts me to see him play, but it's a lot easier to see him play now that he's not a Clipper. Dan, do you think the Rockets can win it all? I do. I believe they have always been my dark horse pick. Since they landed Chris Paul, I always said the Rockets are going to surprise some people. If you don't believe me, go back and watch the earlier clips of when the season started, I always said the Rockets are the dark horse. And look, so far, I haven't been wrong because they won not just the West, but the best record in the NBA. So yeah, they have a lot of firepower. And their defense can get turned on at times. You know, they do have Clint Capella, Trevor Ariza, who could play the passing lanes. You know, they traded away Patrick Beverly. They shouldn't have did that. But other than that, man, that's going to be a fun playoffs to watch this year, especially in the West. You just don't know who's going to come out. I'm hoping it's the Rockets, but it could be anybody, you know. And the Warriors are still dangerous if they come back somewhat healthy. They're still super dangerous. But I just think with all these injuries, it takes time to get back on the court and play like yourself, you know. I consider the Trailblazers the dark horse, but I have the Rockets winning. The Trailblazers, that would be a fun team just to make it to the Western Conference Finals if that happens, you know, because I love Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. They could light it up. However, their bigs inside and their wings are kind of inconsistent. You know, Al Farouk has stepped it up from beyond the arc. I do like Joseph Nurkic, but Ed Davis, of course, is the homeboy, as everybody calls him here in LA. But in general, they just never have enough firepower, man, to make it out. We all know it's about the bench. You know, when you come to the playoffs, it's about the bench. And their best bench player besides Shabazz Napier is who? You know, they don't have a big-time bench, so that's how they struggle, you know. Rockets won't win it all if they play one-on-one basketball. Sometimes ISO is too much, but great team. Yeah, I agree with that. They definitely have to play more team basketball, but they do have two of the better guards, man, and that's an advantage in the playoffs. Dan, do you want Trevor Ariza to get the second ring? That'd be nice. Big fan of Trevor Ariza's, man. I wish he would have never left. If we would have re-signed him, man, we would have been a little bit better for longer, but everything happens for a reason. So I wish him the best, though, man, and if Trevor Ariza gets another ring, I'll be so happy for him. Do you think the Thunder go win the next two games? I think they'll at least win one of the two for sure. So they're probably going to be locked in. The Thunder's bench is, yeah, they're pretty bad tactical. I agree. But that's why I don't count them making it past the second round, max. They'd be lucky to make it past the first round. But if they're not going to make it past the second round unless some freak injury happens in their favor or something like that. God forbid it. But anything's possible. I never discount nothing, but it's fun. It's just fun, man. The playoffs are fun. They're not as exciting without the Lakers, but this year they're going to be intriguing because there's no clear-cut favorites. But all the injuries and the struggling Cavs and all this stuff, there's no clear-cut favorites this year, so anything's possible. And let's hope for a very entertaining, surprising playoffs, you know, something where a different team would come out. You know, I always dream of a team like the Bucks coming out of the East, the Sixers, something like that. But that rarely happens in basketball. That's more of a football thing where a random team can win it every season. So, but, you know, I just don't want the regulars. I really, really don't want to see LeBron in the finals again. I don't want to see his mug, you know, in the finals again. And I dang sure don't want to see a super team like the Warriors in the finals because it's like, why do we play the game if we already predict everything before the season starts, right? All these so-called experts and everybody, they say Golden State is penciled in to win the championship. I would love for the playoffs to prove them wrong, and it ends up being somebody else. Like I said, my team is Golden State, but I'll take anybody else other than Houston I'm sorry, my team is Houston, the Rockets, but I'll take anybody else other than Golden State and you know, Cavs. Do you see PG-13 post game? His face has Lakers written all over it. Oh man. Bro, I'm not even going to speculate. I just can't wait. I can't wait till we sign those max free agents. I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to come on here and just celebrate with you guys when that happens. So I can't wait. So we'll see, man. I'm so ready for a big splash this summer or anytime soon, you know, just he said if PG doesn't come, you'll riot. That's funny, bro. Just like the Clippers should not play their best player to get better draft pick. But Jerry West and Ballmer like beating the Lakers. It's up to them, man. At the end of the day, you get no awards for beating us in the regular season. The real awards are the championships. And, of course, they have none. They've never even been out of the second round. So, you know. Now, I don't even think the great Jerry West could turn that trash franchise around. The reason they're trash is because they're cursed, right? So they shouldn't even be here. They should get out of here. They're always going to live in our shadow. I can't wait either, man. I'm going to be so geeked. Oh, man. Do you guys remember that video I dropped from Magic Johnson when we signed him when I said things are finally going to start turning around? And they have. That's probably how excited I'm gonna be, if not more, depending on what big name we land, But I can't wait, man. Hopefully OKC loses in the first round so PG-13 can come to LA. That is definitely the dream. How do you think our offense will look with PG-13 and LeBron with Lonzo? I think it'll work out, man. I really do. LeBron has improved his three-point shooting. I think Lonzo's going to improve it over the summer. Paul George can knock it down for sure, and he's clutch in playoffs. Just go back and watch playoff tape of Paul George, and you'll never not want him to come to the Lakers. He's that good. So, and remember, he's still in his prime. He's still only 27 years old. Paul George is the real deal, man. People forget how good he is because he's played the whole season with Westbrook, and that kind of conceals his game a little bit. But once he gets here, man. He said, Dan, I found a video of you after a 49-point loss to the Mavs last year. We've come a long way. Yes, we have. I was upset. When we used to get embarrassed by teams like that, and that was under the Mitch and Jim era, and you guys remember me saying, we're not going to be able to move forward with these two bums at the helm. I said, we need a clean house. We need somebody to come in here and clean house, and Magic was the answer. So, yes, we have come a long way, and we still have a long way to go because we're going to get back to the promised land. Randall has really devalued his stock in the last 5 games. He has to develop the mid-range game and not be so predictable on offense and careless with the ball. I don't think he's devalued his stock, though. I still believe he's going to make anywhere from 16 to 20 mil. Anywhere above that, though, of course, I already said it, I probably wouldn't pay if I'm the Lakers. It'd be more of a sign-and-trade type deal. But hopefully he takes the hometown discount and he signs with us from 16 to 20, and I'll be cool with that. But bottom line is Randall's still a beast. He's still a beast. He does need to work on his game, but the way that players are being paid now, Randall's going to get paid, man. And hopefully it's from us. Hopefully it's by us. Dan, I found a video of you where you said you'd take Zubats over Embiid. That's just my bias talking, man. That's just my biasness. But you know what? Zubats showed a lot of promise. His rookie season? I think so. Yes, I was very hyped on him. However, we all know Embiid was going to be the better player if he ever stayed healthy. But as of that time, Embiid was always injured. And, of course, it was looking like Zubats was going to be more promising, especially because he was healthy. But ever since then, Zubats has regressed a little bit, partly and due to limited playing time, in my opinion. But, again, it matters, man. Coaching staff and everything, it matters how they develop the players, how much time they give them, Heat of the moment, Dan. Definitely heat of the moment. However, I wasn't wrong. If Joel Embiid would have maintained his injuries and he would have stayed getting injured and not raised his game to this level, then I would have been right. I mean, Zubats, of course, would have a brighter future than an injured Joel Embiid, so it doesn't even matter. It's irrelevant what I said at that time. Obviously, things change, from time to time, but more times than not, I have been right. If you go back and look at those videos, I predicted so many things. I predicted Mitch and Jim were going to be fired. I predicted the Lou Williams trade, the D'Angelo Russell trade. I predicted a lot of things, man. So go back and look, guys. It's all right to be wrong, but if I'm right 80 to 90% of the time, then, I got a bone to pick. So Zubats needs more presence. He needs to just build up, and he needs to change his game a little bit. What's your next prediction, Dan? I already have said it many, many times. We're going to land 1 to 2 max free agents this summer for sure. Guaranteed. I'm telling you right now, Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka, they're home run hitters. So Ingram's still playmaker off the point, but would be better if he became a point guard. We'll see, man, because I really like Lonzo playing the point. He pushes the pace a lot better. He has that core vision. He could just hit you in full stride, in the open court. So. Plus, we don't have any of our current draft picks, and we're hoping for Randall to break out. Ingram seemed like our only core player. Now we have 5. Exactly. Over 1 year, Magic Johnson has turned this franchise around and given us a real bright future in a positive direction. Dan, go watch Paul George interviews when he was on the Pacers. He is for sure coming. I already know, man. His body language says it all. Ever since the Jimmy Kimmel interview and all these interviews where he has kind of avoided the media, so I agree. Embiid was drafted higher than Zubats. What do you expect? Yeah, it's irrelevant. It was a heat of the moment type thing. And anyways, we didn't even know if Embiid was going to play he was looking like the for sure next Greg Oden. By the way, he's still not out of the shark water. He needs to play at least 2 to 3 seasons consistently to have me believing that he's going to be healthy from here on out. But I hope I'm wrong. He could still be a couple of injuries away from being the next Greg Oden. I mean, Greg Oden had all the talent in the world, but the injuries never let him, injuries never really let him, play his game and then develop into the player he was supposed to become. So why are the Rockets so good? They barely have any ball movement because Mike D'Antoni's system is that good, and he's always been disrespected. I said it. He never gets the respect he needs. He turned 2 All-Stars into MVP candidates, Steve Nash and James Harden. So he's really, really good. Dan, were you a fan of Derek Jeter? It was a class act. I mean, it's hard not to like a guy like that. Yes, I was. I was a fan of Derek Jeter's. I still think Embiid might be out of the league in 3 years if he's not careful. And you know what? I hope not, because I really like Embiid. I'm a big fan of his game. Not a big fan of his personality, although I know they say it's good for Philly to have a face like that or whatever. But all the dancing and the just horsing around, I'm not a big fan of. But other than that, I mean, the kid's a beast. He can back it up, so he can do whatever he wants. Dan, I think playing with Westbrook might make PG-13 change his mind, especially if Carmelo performs in the playoffs. We'll see. Anything's possible. I'm not going to discount it. However, he would be foolish to finish the rest of his career in Oklahoma City. They've proven they can't build a contender. They trade away key pieces like James Harden. They trade away key pieces, man. And they end up losing Kevin Durant, trading away Serge Ibaka, Jeff Green. And they could have had themselves a dynasty there, but instead they didn't want to pay the luxury taxes. First bad move was getting rid of Harden. So if I look at the track history, I'm an NBA player. I'm going where they actually pay for stars. I'm going to LA, or I'm going elsewhere where they pay for stars and they pay for championships. You got to pay for championships. Championships aren't cheap. Even the Dallas Mavericks had to overpay Jason Kidd, overpay Tyson Chandler, Dirk, Jason Terry, all these guys to win that championship. Championships are expensive. They're not cheap. You're not going to get them on rookie deals. You have to pay the stars. You have to pay the big-time players. You have to overpay, go over the cap to get the championship. So, again, if I'm Paul George personally, it would be a huge mistake to stay there where Sam Presti hasn't showed that he's willing to pay. They're probably hoping that Carmelo Anthony opts out, which shows you that they're not willing to pay. So we'll see. But I just think PG, I think PG's coming to the Lakers for sure. Do you think the Lakers should draft point guard from Villanova? Again, I'm saving my draft video. It's coming up shortly after the season, maybe a couple of days after the season ends. So it's coming probably right before the playoffs or maybe during the playoffs. But I'll bring that video out to you guys of my top 5 players we should take with the 25th. It looks like it's going to end up being the 25th pick. So I was just waiting to see where the pick is going to land before I make that video. But I already have some players in mind, so stay tuned. I got you. I can't stop teasing you guys, man, because you guys keep asking me the questions, and I don't really want to give it all out, Then I think this was a fun season, all things considered, don't you? Yeah, it was definitely a fun season. It's fun just imagining how good these kids are going to be 2 to 3 years down the road, especially Kuzma, Ingram, Lonzo, Josh Hart, Randall. So they're only going to continue to get better. That's what people don't comprehend. They want to trade these guys that are going to get better together, and that's tough because – if the Warriors would have did that, they would have been the next Oklahoma City Thunder. We don't want to be the next Thunder. Pisses me off that they don't tell Randall to work on his jump shot since we're out of the playoffs. We'll see what happens over the summer, but he made a huge improvement in one summer, so I have hope that he can make another one. Dan, this is a fun one. PG comes here only if we fulfill his demand of unretiring the number 24 and letting him wear it. You allow it? No. He's not going to want that, period. He respects Kobe too much. That would be disrespectful, and that would be a cocky, arrogant move. Number doesn't matter. I get it. He's PG-13, but he can be rated R for all I care. When he comes to LA, he better get obscene. It doesn't matter what number he is. He could be number 1. There's so many numbers you can pick. Forget about the whole PG-13, man. Look at Flash. Dwayne Wade was Flash for the longest. One day he gets tired of the nickname. So, and then he changes it, you know what I mean? PG-13, let him get rated R, man. Numbers don't matter. I mean, personally, if you ask me, PG-13 movies, sometimes they don't show everything. I prefer rated R movies. So you know what I mean? The nickname is better. Hypothetical, yeah, I feel you, man. Those questions, I always get hit with them. But I'm just saying, man, we need PG-13 to come here and get real rated R. He's going to get explicit because he's going to take over, man. PG-69 seems like the way to go. Oh, that's a funny one. If PG wants to stay with Westbrick and Hog Mellow, good luck. I like that nickname, by the way, Hog Mellow. They ain't winning a chip, bro. Russ is a modern-day AI. Great talent, but doesn't make anyone better. A stat pattern. I agree with that. Hey, what's up? What up, Lake Show? How you doing, bro? I haven't seen you in a minute. How you been? Good to see you. Yeah, Hog Mellow. That's pretty funny. Yeah. You said Hog Mellow. What happened to the Weed Freak? Weed Freak? I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Paul George misses 13 shots. He can miss 100. Let him come. Let him come. I want us to win at least 2 games. We need 36, 10 or more from last year. Yeah, I would like that too. But at this rate, with all these injuries, might not happen. But we can always believe. You just never know. We need Josh Hart to drop like a 40-point game for that to happen, though. Dan, who's your pick to win the chip? My dark horse pick is Houston to win the championship for sure. That's my dark horse pick. I pray to God that it happens. Just here supporting the brother. I see you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Dan, can Randall be our future center anchoring the paint? Doubt it. If you look at Randall's defensive tendencies, at times he falls asleep. He doesn't make the effort to block shots when he's already beat off the dribble. And, yeah, he's not really a rim protector. He is exactly a power forward. And a tweener at that, you know. Some people, when he came into the league, wanted to play him as small forward because he's more like 6'8", and mostly power forwards are like 6'10" and up. But he works at power forward only because he's a bull and he overpowers people. At center, I don't think that happens. I mean, you can see when Rudy Gobert was in the game tonight, he didn't really go up like that. You know, he waited till Rudy Gobert went to the bench to dominate and stuff like that. So we need a real center, like a real one. Dan, what are you more excited for? I'm excited for everything. Like I said, this summer is not going to be boring for me personally because, like I said, we got so many things to watch, from the playoffs to the World Cup to Summer League, free agency, the draft, you know, football season when it rolls around, training camp. Dude, we got so much to watch. We're lucky as LA fans. We have so much to watch. We're going to have the Galaxy now. They just jumped on my radar ever since they got Ibra. So there's so many fun things to watch, and just stay tuned, baby. Stay tuned. But I'll take one more question, and it's going to be from your boy Brian Jackson. He said, how do you think PG-13 will announce he's coming to the Lakers? Well, he's probably going to sit with a reporter, and he's going to go, this fall, I'm taking my talents to LA's beaches. No, I'm just playing. No, I don't know. Honestly, I'm just referencing to the whole LeBron, the announcement. It doesn't matter how he announces it, man. All we need is you know, Twitter to just blow up and say, hey, you know, breaking news by Shams or Adrian Wojnarowski. You know, the Lakers are signing Paul George to a 4-year max deal, whatever. Whatever it is, I don't care how I hear about it, but I'm going to rage. I'm going to be so happy because that'll signify the end of the rebuild and the start of contention, you know, the beginning. So I can't wait, man. I can't wait. If I'm the Lakers, his intro video for the first game of the season is the I'm Coming Home song, you know. That would be great. So I can't wait, guys. That's going to wrap it up for me, though. And keep it locked right here. We got another game coming up on Tuesday and the last one on Wednesday. I'm gonna cover it, and I got you guys, man. So please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Hopefully we get a dub then, and maybe we might even get Kuz, Lonzo, or Brandon Ingram back. So we'll see. Peace out, Laker Nation, and y'all have a great day, man.